This Fleet Equipment Unscripted interview is presented by Hendrickson, a leading manufacturer of heavy-duty suspension systems and components to the global commercial transportation industry. Visit hendrickson-intl.com to learn more.
Hey everyone, I'm Jason Morgan, Content Director for Fleet Equipment. Welcome to Fleet Equipment Unscripted. And today we are talking once again with Nick Pittenger, Vice President of Data Services at Decisive. Nick, how you doing?
Doing well, Jason. Good morning.
So just a bit of background, if it's the first time joining us here, Nick and Decisive bring us exclusive truck service data that we get to dive into. We're looking at Q2 of 2025. Nick, how we doing? What's going on out there in terms of service activity through the Decisive platform? We've seen constant increase in activity. Is that continuing in Q2 of this year?
We're definitely seeing like a high volume of operations there. So in this quarter, we saw 1,271,137 service operations managed on the Decisive SRM platform. This represented a 1.9% drop from the previous quarter, reversing the upward trend we saw in the previous quarters. Of note, this decrease followed a significant increase in Q1 when service activity rose 10.4%, which was a substantial increase. This means we're still well above the service volumes dating back to Q2 of last year. On a year-over-year basis, the number of service operations rose 9.7%. Also of note is that service volume increases were seen in 17 VMRS systems, which is down from 20 in the previous quarter. So the decrease in service activity is affecting a broader set of VMRS systems.
Very good. And obviously the big talk right now is the market and what's going on in the market. We've seen how that's impact trucking. We've had a decline in new truck sales, definitely over the summer and continuing. Freight volumes have been volatile. Mileage is up. I saw 6.6 years, I believe, is the new average age of trucks, so pushing 7 years almost. And the outlook for next year, even in the first two quarters, is kind of status quo. Any thoughts from your side on how all of that might be impacting service activity?
The industry is definitely seeing a dropping tonnage and mileage levels that's likely affecting the service volumes. Despite gains in factory volumes and retail sales, the American Trucking Association's for-hire tonnage index was down in May and June, the result of weaker activity.
Yeah, for sure. Let's dig in here a little bit more. Second quarter, seasonality, right? Seasonality does play a role. We typically see that in the VMRS system level. Anything stand out to you in terms of seasonal service needs in second quarter data?
The highest quarter-over-quarter increase that we saw on service volumes was for air conditioning, heating, and ventilating system at 66.7%, most likely due to the seasonal maintenance needs in advance of the warmer weather, something that we've seen in past years as well. However, we saw cooling systems down 12.4%, which is not something we typically see.
Interesting. What about brakes? I know last time we talked, it was brakes with a bullet driven by recalls that were happening there. Did brakes cool off in Q2, or is service still continuing in that segment?
Yeah, as you remember correctly, the data for brakes does include service activity other than routine maintenance and repairs due to an ABS recall by one major manufacturer. Given that, brakes remain one of the top systems by service volume, being one of the top year-over-year gains with an increase of 53.8%. However, brakes are among the systems with the largest decreases for this quarter, with a drop of 18.5%. This tracks with both lower mileages and a decrease in that recall activity.
Yeah, for sure. Very interesting. Okay, we're going to hit on one of the... Look, I'm not celebrating this. For the fleets out there watching, I'm not celebrating this. But if I get a little excited, I'm sorry, because transmissions, automatic. Going back to this, Nick and Decisive have been kind enough. We've been doing this for, I feel like, a couple years now, almost. We might have hit the 2-year mark. And service volume in automated manual, and automatic transmissions, that was something we indicated earlier. In these conversations of a trend that was continuing and starting, and we're really starting to see service volumes on that automatic transmission and automated manual transmissions. What's going on with those types of transmissions in Q2 here, Nick?
You're right. We've continued to see it surge in activity. Automatic transmission service activity jumped 9.7% this quarter, and the momentum is even more impressive when viewed year over year with a 10.7% increase. Even when we zoom out a little bit, the volume in this area has increased in 3 of the last 4 quarters. This signals a sustained upward trend and is not just a temporary spike. This growth aligns with the broader shift in fleet preference toward automatic transmissions. In contrast, Manual transmission service activity declined 1.5% year over year, despite a 5.9% quarterly uptick. That short-term rise is likely tied to aging manual vehicles requiring more maintenance.
Yeah, for sure. And even just from this side, it's funny. There have been a couple of companies and even a couple of interviews I've done here with service providers and suppliers that are actually really starting to talk about this, talking about transmission sealing, transmission reprogramming, all those things that go in the automatic and automated transmissions. So definitely starting to see that in the market in terms of getting some solutions, even into the aftermarket. So interesting to see how that service need continues to develop. We've touched on age of equipment a little bit here, but in terms of average age of truck or how much older the trucks are getting, how do you see that in the service data? Does that help? Do you see that helping service providers and fleets understanding ongoing issues in vehicle age, or is it more regardless of the vehicle age?
Yeah, we do find that it's helpful for folks and have been tracking that service activity into the age buckets, grouping them into 4 different buckets for analysis. The buckets we're currently using are 0 to 3 years, 3 to 6 years, 6 to 9 years, and then 9+ years. This data provides a clear picture of how new trucks and vehicle age impact service volumes. What is interesting is that the age analysis shows that the same 5 systems account for the most service activity in all age buckets, and this has been consistent for the last 2 quarters. Some of the VMRS systems with the highest level of service activity included Power Plant, which ranked highest in volume in all 4 age brackets. This quarter, it rose to the top spot from second place last quarter among newest vehicles. Brakes, which we mentioned before have had a recent spike in activity, fell back to 3rd highest volume among newest vehicles from the top spot in the previous quarter, and was also in 2nd or 3rd place in the other age buckets. Exhaust system is another VMRS system of note. It was ranked 4th in new vehicles for the 3rd quarter in a row, and either 2nd or 3rd in the subsequent age buckets.
Very interesting. You know, and going back to it too, so that folks are aware on the Decisive side, right? You mentioned those over 1 million service activity going through the platform. You're connected with a large chunk of the service world in trucking. That going through the Decisive platform, making those integrations to the platforms and dashboards that fleets are using. You have your service relationship management that fleets can see the side. And you're doing some of that VMRS encoding on your side, right? So when you say that we're tracking the VMRS data, that's really truly happening. That is getting encoded. The service centers that do it and are really good at doing it, that continues to go through. But then on your side, on the Decisive side, you're encoding a lot of that service activity to get a better window into what's going on. Did I portray that correctly there, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this was an area where, dealers have the ability to set up their operations and stuff within our platform to be able to define those things so that whenever they are used, that consistent value is showing up the way that they want to define them. Right. And in the spaces where, that information isn't available, our model is able to help fill in that gaps and really help create higher quality data for the types of work that are happening. So dealers, fleets, and OEMs alike could have a better view into what's happening in the industry, how is it trending over time, and what are some of the biggest areas that they need to be aware of.
Right, for sure. Okay, so now perhaps my favorite part of the conversation, the predictions. And Nick, you've been doing good with your predictions here, looking out over the quarters. Anything you see in your data-fueled crystal ball for Q3 service activity?
I expect we'll see a continuation of the trends we saw in Q2, with volume slightly decreasing due to overall drops in tonnage and mileage, but no significant changes in either direction. It will be interesting to see how much upward pressure on service activity there will be resulting from fleets holding onto their trucks longer, though.
Yeah, for sure. Just got back from ATA, MC&E, and that was definitely a conversation that was happening there. And like I said, the thought in truck sales going into 26 is Q1 and Q2 are going to be more status quo. So those trucks will continue to grow in age. Nick, I appreciate you bringing all the great service data. Always have fun with this conversation. Looking forward to seeing what the future holds and digging into those predictions. We'll talk to you very soon.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jason.